Been a while since I've introed a video with the boy, Minton. Look at the camera, mate. Look at the camera. Who are they? Does everyone watching need to like and subscribe? They do? Yeah, they do. Oh, look at him. The F1 logo has taken 4 different forms over the years since the sport's formation in 1950. So today I thought, as a designer, as a graphic designer, I'd look at the logo, look at the renditions over the years, give a little history lesson, and then give my own rendition at the end, because particularly the most recent version of the logo attracted quite a lot of controversy when it dropped. But yeah, I'm going to jump into it. That's going to be today's video. Hope you enjoy. So, the very first logo, if you can call it a logo, I mean it technically is, but it is literally just Formula 1 written. You know, there's nothing more to it. It was blue. It looked like this. I mean, at the time the sport was founded, it was a rich boys sport, you know what I mean? So they didn't, in terms of the commercial viability of Formula 1, it wasn't a thing back then. So they couldn't really be asked with doing anything. This logo, this one right here on screen, stayed in place for 36 years. It is by far and away the longest serving logo in Formula 1 history. I'd never seen it before I researched this video. I'm sure a lot of you have never seen it before. But here it is, 1950 to 1986. This was the Formula 1 logo. Rendition number 2 from 1987 to 1993. Have a look at this. A lot of you may recognise this actually, particularly milder viewers. I was born in 93, so I don't actually remember this being used, but I do recognise this logo. And it was the first example of the use of negative space, which came into play in the third rendition, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Obviously, the FIA being obnoxious as ever, front and centre on this one. In terms of critique, I think, to be honest, it could pass. It could pass for a modern logo if you were to remove the negative space car in the middle. That looks a bit but in terms of the font, actually, I really like the Formula 1 font that they used for the Formula 1 text beneath. And generally, like if you just simplified that a bit, then it could actually pass for quite a modern logo, to be fair. This is quite an iconic one, given that, although nowhere near as iconic as the third rendition. So here she is, number 3, the one that everyone loves, it seems. It's very much the adored logo. It's very much the glory day logo that people hark on back for. From 94 to 2017. This is Formula 1. This is the logo. This is the one that is in the hearts and minds of so many. This logo's clever. So alongside the F and next to the red kind of swoosh bit, you do have a 1. It's a negative space, hidden 1 in there, very cleverly implemented. Like I said, from the previous logo before that, where you had the negative space Formula 1 car. It's clever. It's clever. People appreciate that, and I love that element of the logo. I do, however, again from a design point of view, have a few critiques that I'd like to address. First and foremost, legibility is okay. You lose the problem with these kind of bits on the side is that you do lose the legibility at distance to a degree. It's not too bad, to be fair, but it just morphs into one kind of solid thing. So that's a bit of a meh. More importantly though, however, and I'll demonstrate to you on screen here, if I draw a ruler down to the top, you can see that this top edge, the skew should be, as far as I'm concerned, it should be in line with that top edge. I think that it just bugs me. It really bugs me. Stick a -3 degrees shear on that, and you've got it nice and up the top. Beautiful. That's much nicer. Again, the shear of the logo overall implies speed and pace, and you know, it evokes the kind of emotion you want. You've got the black and the red, which are quite strong, bold, you know, powerful colours. It makes sense, right? A lot of it does make sense. And again, the kind of zigzaggy bit on the side again implies there's movement. Is very, very good at implying that. I do think maybe it is a bit boxy, but overall it's a very, very good logo. And now on to the modern day logo. For me, honestly, this is the best. For me, in terms of an icon, representative, easy legibility, simple to understand, a lot of scope to use it and make it look cool and do all 3D cool effects and like that. It ticks the boxes. It was designed by Vidin and Kennedy in 2017, implemented from 2018 onwards, And yeah, for me, it just works. What I particularly like is how wide it is to the height, right? In terms of implying, you've got the shear, which was in the previous logo, and that's kind of come over. If not, there's actually more shear on this logo to imply even more purposefulness and speed and movement. But it's super short and super wide with that shear. It's almost got the shape of a Formula One car in terms of those proportions. And yeah, for me, that just works a treat. Again, it works really well on the car in terms of on branding, in terms of the actual use that a logo has, in terms of all of the commercial side of things as well. It's instantly recognizable. It just works. It's just lovely jubbly. I really like it. For me, it's a winner. But also, I'm going to take this opportunity today to do a little bit of a redesign and do what I think maybe could have been an alternative to this logo. Now, what I'm not going to do is try and change the modern logo, because for me, it's great and I don't feel I can do a better job. But what I do think I could do is improve on the last version of the logo and just make some modern design style changes to just bring it a little bit more up to date, okay? And then I'll put a poll at the end and see what you guys and girls prefer the most. So looking at the screen, we've got, again, the old version, we've got the new logo. I thought it'd be fun as well, like if we applied the same color treatment from the old logo to the new logo with the black and red. I think that's pretty cool. But anyway, let's redesign the top one. Let's redesign the old logo. So here we are. The big changes that I've made. Again, I've simplified the back end. The one is exactly the same. That hasn't changed at all. Again, I like that. In terms of the back end, I've made that actually a bit shorter, but I've added a bit more skew. If I bring this over, you can see there's a little bit more skew in my new version. There's not much in it. A little bit more aggression. Any more in it looked a bit weird. But for me, a little bit more skew. And just simplify the shape to make something that's, again, more recognizable as an icon from a distance. Yes, it's a bit of a shame to lose the kind of zzz bits, but for me, again, from a legibility point of view, it just wasn't ticking the box. I could have added less in, maybe, but again, I don't think it would have had the same impact. So for me, I've just taken it out entirely and just kept it nice and simple and clean. Now, for the F, again, the clever use of the negative space here creates the 1 and the curve, but I don't know. For me, I was like, is there a way of getting around the curve? Because there's no there's no curvature anywhere else on the logo, right? So if I could get away with that, so I've gone with the straight here. You can still see the 1, but then that F just looks weird. And then down here, you kind of lose the negative space of the 1. I played around with a few options, but for me, sticking with original was the way to go. And then in terms of text, again, another kind of issue in terms of legibility is that with the logo, with the Formula One underneath, because it only ends at like this kind of point here, it would be so small when the logo is small that I feel it just needs to, even if they'd have just, done this, I feel that that's just a better use of that within the logo for me. I've actually taken the skew out of it, again, for kind of legibility purposes, picked a nice kind of solid font, and then, I think that works. For me, that works a treat, to be honest. Also, what I do like about this logo here, if I just ungroup this and then pull the F and the 1 out, is that they do actually, if we just zoom in here, they do slot in together, which I do rate that, because of course the 1 is the negative. This is kind of the final input. It's simple, it's solid. It's not as good as the current logo, if you ask me, but for me it's kind of a modern update of the classic that everyone seems to love. So I'll leave a poll above. Let me know which is your favourite, the old version, my version, or the new version. There we have it. That's my F1 logo redesign. Please drop a like on this video if you've enjoyed it. It super helps kind of pushing it out there and gives the YouTube algorithm a little bit of sustenance, and subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see more videos just like this. I hope we're all staying safe and coping as best as we all can, because I'm pretty sick of being stuck inside all day, but it is what it is, and we're all in the same boat. So we'll look back on these times and be like, wow, that was crazy. Can't wait till the F1 season's back. My name is Tommo. This is the Tommo F1 YouTube channel. Thank you very much as ever again for watching. Have a good one. Ta-da.